The Biden administration plans to capitalize on the exodus of highly educated citizens from Russia, according to Bloomberg. Individuals with knowledge of the strategy told the outlet that President Joe Biden seeks to rob Russian President Vladimir Putin of some of his top innovators. The proposal would work to relax visa requirements for Russians who have obtained a master's or doctoral degree in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and maths, in the US or abroad. Per Bloomberg, Biden wants to attract Russians with expertise in semiconductors, space technology, cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, and artificial intelligence with easier visa rules. President Joe Biden wants Congress to expedite visas for Russian scientists eager to leave the country in the midst of Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, an effort to accelerate a brain drain already underway and further deprive President Vladimir Putin of some of Russia's top talent. An administration proposal sent to Capitol Hill as part of a larger package requesting $33 billion in spending on the war would suspend for 4 years the requirement that scientists applying for H-1B visas have a sponsoring employer, eliminating one of the biggest obstacles for many seeking to come to the United States. The vast majority of such visas for the technology industry go to workers from India. About 1,800 Russians obtained lawful permanent residence status each year before the pandemic based on an immigrant classification reserved primarily for outstanding professors, researchers, and advanced degree professionals if they had employer sponsors. The package has about $20 billion in defense spending for Ukraine and US allies in the region and $8.5 billion to keep Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's government providing services and paying salaries. There is $3 billion in global food and humanitarian programs, including money to help Ukrainian refugees who have fled to the US and to prod American farmers to grow wheat and other crops to replace the vast amounts of food Ukraine normally produces. The package, which administration officials estimated would Congress enacted early last month and now is almost drained. With the bloody war dragging into its third month, the measure was designed to signal the Russian President Vladimir Putin that US weaponry and other streams of assistance are not going away. The Biden administration has a plan to rob Vladimir Putin of some of his best innovators by waiving some visa requirements for highly educated Russians who want to come to the US. A spokesman for the National Security Council confirmed that the effort is meant to weaken Putin's high-tech resources in the near term and undercut Russia's innovation base over the long run, as well as benefit the US economy and national security. Specifically, the Biden administration wants to make it easier for top-tier Russians with experience with semiconductors, space technology, cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, advanced computing, nuclear engineering, artificial intelligence, missile propulsion technologies, and other specialized scientific areas move to the US. Countries like Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and United Kingdom would also want to do the same as US is trying to do. Why are Russian scientists so intelligent? During the Soviet era, the advancement of science and technology was a top priority for the Soviet government. The Soviet technology was most highly developed in the fields of nuclear physics, where the arms race with the West convinced policymakers to set aside ample funds for research. Education in Russia. Education in state-owned secondary schools is free. First to tertiary, university-level education is free with reservations. A substantial number of students enroll on full pay. Male and female students have equal shares in all the stages of education. USA and G7. The US and some of its group of 7 allies have also in recent weeks discussed giving protected status to Russian scientists, including those working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research (CERN), which runs the largest particle physics laboratory, suspended most of its work with Russia after the war began. Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program in which more than 1,600 Nazi German scientists, engineers, and technicians were taken from former Nazi Germany to the US for government employment after the end of World War II in Europe between 1945 and 1959. Conducted by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency (JIOA), it was largely carried out by special agents of the U.S. Army's Counterintelligence Corps (CIC). Many of these personnel were former members and some were former leaders of the Nazi Party. On Thursday, September 20, 1945, Werner von Braun arrived at Fort Strong. The small military site on the northern tip of Boston Harbor's Long Island was the processing point for Project Paperclip, the government program under which hundreds of German scientists were brought into America. Von Braun filled out his paperwork that day as the inventor of the Nazi V-2 rocket, a member of the Nazi Party, and a member of the SS who could be linked to the deaths of thousands of concentration camp prisoners. 2.5 decades later, on Wednesday, July 16, 1969, von Braun stood in the firing room at Kennedy Space Flight Center and watched another of his rockets, the Saturn V, take the Apollo 2 crew to the moon. That he was responsible for both the deadly Nazi V-2 and NASA's majestic Saturn V makes Werner Braun a controversial historical figure. Some hold that his participation in the Nazi war effort necessitates classifying him as a villain. But while his actions during the Second World War were monstrous, he was motivated by some inherent evil or personal belief in Nazi ideology. Von Braun was motivated by his childhood obsession with space flight, a somewhat uncritical patriotism, and a naive grasp of the ramifications of his actions in creating one of the war's deadliest weapons. So give us your thoughts on this in the comment section, and if you appreciate our content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with your family and friends. We will meet soon in a new video. Thank you. Jai Hind.